Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. In our first story, being offered an unearned tip, beggar wants a bigger one. Let's jump right in. Tips can be a contentious issue, and I would never rip off someone who served me. Also, this is not in the US and tips are not standard. However, I don't feel obliged to pay someone who is trying to run a scam on me, particularly if they use intimidation and aggression to do it. Read on and see what you think. This is an experience from a few years back with the panhandlers at Denpasar Airport in Bali. They grab bags off the luggage carousel, and when the owner has to approach them to retrieve their luggage, they claim they'll help carry it through the airport, which they do, whether you agree or not, for about 15 meters. Then, they set the bags down right in front of a money exchange, the most expensive on the island, and from whom they get a kickback. They stand there in front of your bags, blocking access to them, and instruct you what currency the tip for their arduous 15-meter journey should be in, that their mate can helpfully exchange, but only in large denomination notes. Having been warned by my sister, who had had this experience on her last visit, I said I had currency for a tip in my bag, no exchange needed. The elated bag carrier shushed the disappointed exchange person, but when the tip was offered, tried to refuse the smaller than desired notes as being dirty, untrue, and worn. Slightly true, but fully legal. His mate could exchange nice, clean, large notes, and then I could conveniently give several of them to him. He absolutely refused the more than fair and totally unearned tip I was offering. As he refused, he moved aggressively to block access to my bag, but realized it was no longer behind him and I was walking away. He'd given the bag back so I could get the tip out. Story number 2. I'm homeless. I don't want your food. I want money. This story won't stand out much as there have been many of these on this thread. Anyways, it's obviously about a choosing beggar, a literal beggar on a corner. Anyways, when I met my ex 4 years ago, he had a non-blood related uncle renting out his shed. This uncle had been in and out of jail while dealing with his alcoholism at the time, and having an address helped him get a sort of visitation right to see his 8-year-old son. I really felt bad for the dude. He was working his way up. Fast forward 3 years, he still lives with my now ex, and I wave to him sometimes. But I thought his situation would improve. It did not. It must have had something to do with not seeing his kid, but he had no motivation to do anything. He wasn't trying to improve. Every damn morning, he walks a busted wheelchair to the corner by my house. Walks it. I know there are situations where people only need their wheelchair half the time, as they can still walk, but this was not the case. I knew him, he did not need it. He sits and begs per usual, which tears at the little hearts of our precious neighborhood grannies. One in particular is my aunt. She loves to make him little snacks and drop them off. She gives him dinner leftovers when there's enough. One day, she pulled up to him and gestured for him to open her door and take the food. He stands up out of his wheelchair and takes a peek inside. His brow pinches in frustration. No, I'm not doing this. What am I supposed to do with these? These are grapes. Aunt Bev says, I'm sorry, I guess I'll see if my grandchildren want them. Sorry, and have a good day. No, you should be paying me for all the food you would have given me. Think of me every time you buy food and set that money aside for me. Okay, did this bum just tell my aunt how to spend her money? I was sitting in the back seat when this happened, tending to my 1-year-old niece in her car seat. We were watching her for the day. I didn't say anything at the moment because my aunt drove off flustered. She shared this with her yarn club, and most of these old women had stories about attempting to give him food and he straight up refuses. He only wants the money. When he does get money, he obviously supplies his booze problem. At night, I'll see him in the park, too drunk to walk, so finally the wheelchair comes into use, and he just tries to drag himself with his feet around the place, looking insane. Story number 3. If you're willing to give me that for free, then why not give me double? So I just had a choosing beggar encounter. This guy messaged me about plants I'm selling. He comes by my house and said he had a big pond he's trying to fill with plants. So I was like, yeah man, no worries. I'll give you more than I normally would to help you out. So I gave him what I would normally sell for about $40 for $5. It's frogbit, a floating plant. I have a lot of them, so it wasn't a huge loss. I typically sell a handful for $5, but I gave him half a gallon-sized Ziploc worth. Then he says, okay, how about I give you $10 for double that? I was like, I gave you substantially more than I normally would. I'm okay with giving you this for $5, but I can't give you double for $10. But you said that's $5 worth, so double is $10. No, I said this is like $40 or $50 worth, but I'm doing you a favor. Just put more for $10. So I put in what would normally be $5 worth. That's not nearly enough. I'm trying to fill a pond. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm giving you so much as a favor. He was obviously disgruntled. Then he asked me about the largest plant I have in my aquarium, my Amazon sword. This thing is about 2 feet tall and about 1.5 feet wide, full of leaves, and it took me a year to grow from propagation. How much for that one? I couldn't sell that for less than $60. $60? No way! Would you take $5? Yeah, man, I'm not feeling that generous today, but I have a much smaller one I could give you for $5. Didn't you hear? I'm trying to fill a pond. I need big plants. These will grow into big plants. That's how they work. My local pet store sells those for $3. Buy them there. No, I want a big one. You know, I drove a long way to get here. Yeah, man, not my problem. At this point, I was just done, and I said, well, you've got your plants, $10 please. Then he hands me a $20 bill, and I say thanks. And he's like, my change? Sorry, I don't have change for a 20. This mother flipper looked at me sideways, like I messed with his sister or something, then scoffed and asked if I had Zelle. He sent the money, and I let him out the door. This dude was genuinely thinking that I was trying to pull one over on him. Story number 4. This is not a babysitting job. This is under people who quit their jobs on the first day. What was your I'm out of here moment? I answered an ad for a babysitting job. I was already working on a casual basis, but it was sporadic, so I thought some after-hours babysitting would be welcome extra cash. The couple were both in the military and proceeded to tell me that I would be staying in the spare room and looking after their 6-month-old child around the clock, as well as doing the housework. I would have 1 day off every 2 weeks. They said it is cash in hand, so I could sign on to the dole, unemployment benefit, to make up the rest of the money. I left on the spot. They wanted a live-in housemaid and nanny, not a babysitter, and they were not able to pay for one. Why they thought it was up to me to illegally collect the dole to subsidize them, I don't know. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and hit that notifications bell. I would love for you to drop a like, share with your friends. See you in the next one.